All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome again to Empowering Morning Conversations. And today's session number 640. And let's talk some more about the brain. Okay. So, yesterday we looked at how the reactive brain and the brain that we use for resistance never allows us to look to the future, never allows us to use our rational mind. And in situations, rather in every situation in life, we need to use the rational mind, right? So one of the things that research by some American university has shown that more than 80% of the people, they use less than 10% of what they know. So why is the knowledge not available to you when you need it? Because your rational mind is not focusing on recalling what you know, it's only doing its fight and flight drama. Okay, so instead of using your brains to further your interests or to fulfill your objectives, we are only getting ensnarled in fight and flight activities. So people who practice being in charge of their, Kasha, thank you very much. That was your birthday gift to me in advance, right? So I thought I should wear it to honor you. So when you learn to keep your attention in your control, then you would like to focus it where it should be, right? Rather than getting it, allowing it to be pulled here and there, right? So when there is an impulse or a reaction happening, if you have the ability to recognize that it's happening, then you don't let it happen. So I want to look at a few hacks that we can do, right? Like a few shortcuts, so that we don't get stuck in the default mode. So remember, why are we here? So that we can have a life of ease, joy, and glory. When I say, why are you here? I mean, why are you there on the Empowering Morning Conversation? So that we can all have a life of ease, we can have a life of joy, and we can have a life of glory, and that's what we want. And who are we? We are wonderful, magnificent, extraordinary human beings who deserve, we deserve to be loved and respected for who we are. So we don't have to be spending time in chasing for it, because that's what we deserve and that's what we will get. But how do you make sure of that? How do you make sure that you're not getting into the default mode? See, the default mode is a mindless mode. Why do I call it the mindless mode? Because your rational mind is not working. Your autopilot has taken over. Like some of our access people will tell you, your Bechimex has taken over. And when that takes over, or a very simple way of saying is, your habits have taken over. So when you are doing something automatically, habitually, habitual actions happen automatically. You don't have to think. So there are some benefits of it also. But if more than 95% of the time you are doing only habitual actions, when do you get time to consciously use your rational brain? So when you're reacting, you don't know what's happening anyway, you're just reacting. So one very big hack that I have, and I keep telling you about it, is to remember. Program your brain so that it always remember. So how do you make sure that you always remember? Is by repeating it again and again. So what do you want to repeat? Every experience is an opportunity to become a better version of myself. Every experience. Each and every experience is an opportunity for me to become a better version of myself. If I live like that, if I keep that in my mind, then all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. Because every experience is an opportunity to become a better version of myself. So I receive. I'm willing to receive all of what happens in my life. Usually we don't. Usually we will resist and react to what we don't like. Even when you like something, there is a kind of reaction, isn't it? You automatically feel good. Now we are lost in feeling good. Right? So you're valuing in feeling good, right? Like some people are feeling good all the time. They take that. Pop, 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 pop. Good, 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 good. They're feeling good all the time. Right? Is their attention focused on what is required? So they want to feel good. So first hack is all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And the second one, we need to control our brain number 2, which is the judging machine. We need to be aware when the mind is saying, oh, this is very good. Oh, this is very bad. This should not be happening. Why is it happening? Yesterday it was not happening. Why is it happening today? This man was a very nice man till now. Now he is not a nice man. He's a bad man. I agree. I don't agree. So how much of the mind is going on doing this? I agree. I don't agree. I like. I don't like. This is good. This is bad. So where is your brain focusing on judging, analyzing? Where should it be? So, after sometimes, I remember I was working almost for 17 years. And suddenly I realized, my God, so Deepak, what have you achieved? You're only surviving. I mean, look at the story of our lives, right? When I was in school, there was this big fight how to pass the maths class. So avoid the maths. I loved English. I loved language, right? I loved biology, right? And then suddenly I realized there also some mathematics is involved. So avoid mathematics. When you went to the board class, the final class, you said, oh my God, I must get high marks. So I get into college. Only short-term thinking. Because of Hindi, I get less marks. Oh my God, now my choices are limited. So if you notice, everything that was happening, it was the situation that was controlling me, not my choice. I had to make a decision based on my marks. So my father wanted me to go to medical school. He said, you did not get enough marks. So what to do? Go and do your BSc. Okay. What will I do after that, Daddy? You do your MSc. At that time, new MBA colleges have come, right? So I asked my dad, Daddy, there is this new thing called MBA. Should I do it? He said, nonsense. Nobody in our family does business. So why should you do MBA? So no MBA. Whose brain is working? Not mine, because I don't have one. I'm only surviving. I'm not creating. I have no idea that I can create a future that I desire. What was the future I desired? I don't know. At that time, I said, I want to go into the army. I want to be like you. No, my son will not go into the army. Become a doctor like your grandfather. And my mind says, I don't want to be a doctor. But who's listening? Now look at the way. Now it's only survival, right? surviving, to survive against my father's anger, right? And a lot of fear that they put in your mind, you will starve. Do you want to become a sweeper? Do you want to sweep the road? Or do you want to become something? But what something? Nobody is telling me that. Become a doctor. So the whole idea of using my brain for fulfilling a larger purpose does not exist. Even if I was using my rational brain, I'm only using it to make strategies to survive. Check and see. From time to time, when our rational brain is working, what are we using it for? To create something good or something big? No. We are only making strategies to survive. How to get a 10% increment next year? How to make sure that my boss's assessment of me is better? How to make sure I'm not losing my job? So many times I ask you this question, and I'm going to ask this question to you again today. What are you going to create today that will allow you, or let me put it slightly differently. What are you going to add to your life today that will allow you to create a future that you desire? What will you add to your life today that will allow you to create a future that you desire? Now you have to use your brain for creation rather than survival. Yes, Kasa. What will you add to your life today that will allow you to create a future that you desire? So answer the question.
Excuse me, sir. Many more returns of the day.
Oh, thank you.
I would add ease and awareness into my system so that I could do things in a much better way.
Yeah. Okay. So even this one, which you just said, okay, is it going to help you create a future that you desire? Do you keep a future in your mind when you add this?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is the goal that you're keeping in mind when you said this?
To be abundant in every sphere of life, sir.
That is true. That's a general statement, Kasa.
Um,
See, if we all want to create something in our life, right? So we have an idea about that, but action is going to take us there, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I have a target of X amount of turnover in the business.
Yeah,
So
good.
focusing towards that, and I have a personal health goal of
Okay,
X
wait.
number.
Stop. Listen. Let's take it step by step because there's something important. Many people like you and I know we are into mind stuff. So we forget some practicalities of life also. So when I say what will you add to your life that will allow you to create a future that you desire? So one thing is very clear. You have an idea about the future that you desire. Okay, very nice. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Good. Do you also have an action plan to achieve that future? I'm sure you must
Yes,
be,
sir.
right? An action
Yes, sir.
plan have the many action steps in it.
Yes, sir.
Good. So when I ask you that question, what will you add to your life today that will allow you to create a future that you desire? Then you would start looking at your actions for the day or for the week to
Yes, sir.
ensure that these actions are going to take you to the future that you desire or not. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you
Yes,
look
sir.
at it very closely, you may discover that you might want to do some alterations to the actions that you have planned. Or you may realize that the amount of action that I'm putting in is insufficient. So
Yes,
many
sir.
people realize, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's what I'm alluding to. Okay. So what will you add to your life today that will allow you to create a future that you desire? So you may put a practical thing like, okay, today, or at least this week, I will sort out this entire pending payment matter. or I will finish XYZ legal pending job. Okay.
Hmm.
When you start looking like that, you start saying, hey, hello, everything is open-ended. The future that I desire, do I want it in 50 years? Do I want it in 25 years? Right? What will I add to my life today that will allow me to open a bloody bank account, which I'm not able to open? Are you getting it? How many
Yes,
weeks
sir.
are you struggling with it?
Almost more than 3 weeks, sir.
Right. So when I asked this question, how come you never said that today I will do this, which will allow me to open that bank account, which has put everything to a standstill till now? See, that never came in our mind, right? In your mind at this moment, until I brought it. Yeah. So
Yes,
this is
sir.
a very specific question. What will I add to my life? So there is something which is stuck up, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if I'm able to add something that will deal with that stuck upness, whatever is blocking me, it will make it easier to create a future that I desire, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Good. You get that? Great. Thank you. Yes, sir. Reddy Garu.
Good morning, sir. I'll be in gratitude throughout the day and appreciate people, whoever is there in my life.
Superb. Excellent. Did you listen to what I said to Kasa just now?
Yes, sir. Action plan.
Yeah. What will you add to your life?
Yes, sir.
That gratitude and everything is very good.
Yes, sir.
It's a state of mind. But that state of mind should result in some action which you are not something more than what you normally do, isn't it?
Appreciate people, sir, for whatever they are.
No, think, be specific in thinking. Like today, what will I add to my life today that will allow me to create a future that I desire? See, to create a future that you desire, because I have had some conversations with you,
Yes, sir.
there are certain critical things that have to take place, right?
Yes, sir.
Which may be pending.
True.
Yeah. So isn't that something that you add to your life so that something that is stuck up can get unstuck quickly so that you can move forward quickly? See, why I'm saying this is, if you heard me little earlier, I was saying, okay, listen, we are trying to avoid painful situations and we get stuck up in painful or troublesome or irritating situations and we are avoiding that. Similarly, we are getting stuck up in always being in peace also.
Yeah.
So sometimes we may not take certain actions because it will disturb my peace.
True.
Yeah. So peace is just something, right? Peace is absence of worry, absence of, concern, absence of this. So maybe the only peace you'll ever have is, I don't want to talk about that. But tell me, if you're avoiding something, then are you allowing all of life to come to you with ease, joy, and glory?
No.
And if you're not doing uncomfortable actions, but they're required to be done, right?
Yes, sir.
So when I'm saying this question, it's not such a simple question. What will I add to my life specifically? Sometimes, one small action can create real cascading effect. You know that, no?
Yes, sir.
Like a catalytic action. Because you are in the steel business, using that. So you understand sometimes a small process change has an exponential result.
Yes, sir.
So maybe you want to look into this aspect from here, from this point of view. Get it, Reddy Garu?
Yes, sir.
What you're saying is not wrong, but I'm saying look at it this way. Maybe you'll get much more output.
Okay, sir.
I mean, you're getting my meaning, what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I too strongly believe that if anyone can do it, I can also do it. In the same perspective, I'll go further today, sir.
Yeah, looking into what are those, points of action that if I leverage those points, then I will get exponential results.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because see, one thing you and I don't have, that is the luxury of time. We don't have unlimited time, right?
No.
There's a timeline that we want to follow.
Hmm.
So are things happening the way we want it?
No. Not happening.
Good, thank you. So what will you add to your life today that will allow you to create a future that you desire? See, this kind of thinking will accelerate stuff. This kind of a thinking pushes you to start using this brain, the rational brain. Rest of the time, I promise you, even when you talk about this peace and all, it's only coming from survival. Why do you want peace? Because I don't have peace right now. Why do you want peace? Because it makes me to feel good. And why do you want to feel good? Survival activity, isn't it? For a lot of people, survival means that I must be in a state of bliss all the time. Sukoon mein hona chahiye. All the time sukoon. Hare Rama. Peace all the time. So today, what we are talking about for the benefit of people who are slightly late. So today's, let's talk about the brain part 2. We understood the reactive brain. We understood the midbrain, the analyzer, right? And now we are saying, how do we actualize my rational brain? How do I keep it focused on what I desire? How do I focus on, adding and creating stuff to my life? A lot of us are, working people, we are business people, right? And you notice that we've got some routine things which we have to do. So many of us are prisoners to our own routine only. How many of you are noticing that we are prisoners of our routine? Raise your hand, please. Your virtual hand, or give me a thumbs up or something. How many of us are prisoners of our routine? Yeah. And in this routine, how much of significant creation takes place? Routine. Yeah. Thank you, Guru Nandan and everybody else. 4 people raised their hands. Rest of them are not engaged in routine activity. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Of course. I was waiting for you to raise your hand.
It's not that we are a prisoner of our routine, but having a routine will give you the day with the ease actually. If you have a routine, if you have a plans, you can function as per your schedule, and you can make things work according to your ask what you would like to achieve for today.
Hiralji, I'm not enemy of routine, okay? Planning to chahiye na, we need planning in our life.
Yes, yes.
मेरा कहना क्या है कि if you look at your routine, okay, how much of that is just survival activity? क्योंकि काम तो करना ही है ना. We have to do what we have to do. So I'm not saying do not have a routine. Right?
But it is not that we are a prisoner for that, no?
कोई बात नहीं, आपको prisoner word नहीं अच्छा लगता है तो मत use करो.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that this routine, you look at the design of the routine, okay? Look at the activities that are included in that routine. How much of creation is happening in that routine? See, I know a lot of smart CEOs and all. You know what they do? They give all regular routine activities to their juniors. They are always looking to see, do I have to do this myself? No, somebody else can do it. Give it to somebody else. I'm going to use my brain for creating. I'm going to use my brain for visioning. I'm going to use my brains to find out how I can grow my business. Right? जो रोजमर्रा के काम होते हैं कोई भी कर सकता है. I will not do those things. So I'm just using that word routine activities. Routine activity means वो payment follow up कर दो. Routine activity means मेरा schedule fix हो गया है कि नहीं. Right? Like I know one.
Everybody has a different routine, right? Like some people makes other to do things, but it is also a routine, no, to make others do things.
But are you getting the point? I mean, you want to.
Yes, I got it. I understood what you are trying to say.
Exactly. So, what significant actions will happen if we take our attention away from these routine things, which anybody else can also do? That's the only point I'm making. You know?
Yes.
I'm not against the routine. See, I'll tell you, there is this gentleman, long time ago, he was a very good friend of mine, Dr. Pankaj Naram. Aapne naam suna hoga. He passed away now. Right? Have you heard of Dr. Pankaj Naram?
Mm.
You are in Ayurveda, isn't it?
Yes, but my general knowledge is very less.
Yeah,
Like,
आपके field के
I'm
बहुत
not
बड़े वो-
updated with lot of things.
Yeah, he's got this big Ayurvedic hospital and everything. He passed away now. His wife is running it. I'm forgetting the name of that one. So Pankaj Naram was like having his practice and all. And suddenly he woke up and he created this big institution which has spread in America and everything. Okay.
Okay.
When he realized this one point, right? कि मेरे पास इतना हुनर है, I've got so much of capability. I need to reach it to wider number of people, right?
Yes.
He said, okay, today I'm meeting with 8, 9 people or 10 people every day. Maybe maximum 50 people every day, maybe even 100 people every day. Because his wife is also Ayurvedic doctor, right? And then when he woke up and he says, hey, what am I going to create? And then they really created this. I will tell you the name. You will be knowing their institute for sure. Everybody knows in Bombay. You're living in Bombay or Bangalore? Bangalore. So you will.
I'm in Bangalore.
So maybe you don't. So what I'm saying is ki, you know, a lot of people, they think we get boxed in. You've heard that phrase called thinking outside the box. Sabne suna hai. So when I'm talking, that's what I'm talking about. What is the box in which I am? Box is nothing but the brain is only circulating inside. Okay. Now you and I are access people, so you know, we ask this question, what else is possible? Okay. So when we meet, we'll say, yes, I must ask this question. From time to time, we'll ask it. In a
Yes.
crisis situation, we'll ask it. Right? But do we ask it all the time? As frequently as we should? At least I don't. Okay? When things are going well, how does it get any better than that? When things are not going well, then also how does it get any better than that? So you'll notice that our brain is wired. When things are not going well, we'll say, how does it get better than this? But when it's going well, we'll say, yaar, theek chal raha hai na bhi. Kai ko chhedne ka isko. Chalne do usko. And that is where when I poke my brain, when I ask you this question, what will you add to your life today that allows you to create a future that you desire? You know, it's actually poking this brain and saying, hello, get out of this survival mode, get into creative mode. Okay. Thank you, Hiralji. Thank you very much. Yes, Ashokji. Ashokji, your hand is raised.
No, I raise the hand only for the purpose that I am in the survival mode every day. Not for,
We
not
are
for
all.
comments.
I bet we are all. There was one more person whose hand was raised. I could not, he's put it down. So I don't. Yes, Rashmi.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, that was my hand. Just talking about what else can I add?
What can I
being-
add to my life today?
What can I add to my life today? That will help me achieve
That
what
will help
I
me
want.
create the future that I desire.
What can I add to my life today that will create the future that I
Will
want?
help me to create a future that I
That
desire.
will help me create the future I want. Okay, that's what. Just to repeat that sentence itself is very powerful, and while habits is a very important part of being effective and efficient, I think the whole point is to be able to think, what can you add? What can I add to my day-to-day? Is just a beginning of creating that new habit, because if that's something that I need to add to my day to achieve the future I want, then that something will become a habit, and then that can serve me in the long term. And then if every day I ask something, there's a addition to my journey.
Yes. There's only one thing which I'd like to say to you, Rashmi, don't use the word want. You can use the word desire.
Okay.
Want is suggesting lack, you know. Nice music. Venkatesh is listening to music as we talk. All right. So, what will you add to your life today that will allow you to create a future that you desire? So, keep thinking about that. See, these are hacks to keep you trying to push your, rational mind into action. Yeah. Because many things that we are doing are, using the brain. Even if we use the rational brain, I have found that most of the time we are using it only for survival, making strategies for survival. Not bad, at least you're using your rational mind. So one is reaction, which we use brain number 1 for. One is called resistance and, analysis. That's the analytical brain number 2. And we are judging all the time. That's what we are doing. So when we come out of it, we can use this brain. But if you're going to use this brain also for survival activities, then what's the point? So the question to ask yourself is, so strong survival conditioning is there, right? First of all, be clear, there's nothing wrong with it. As human beings, we got to ensure our survival, I suppose. I should have my house, I should have my car, I should have a comfortable house with heating. Since I'm now in winter, I'm saying heating or cooling or whatever it is. Fine. Those are basic things. But what else? Remember, once we talked about I'm a being, what am I being used for? I want to remind you of one quotation by George Bernard Shaw, which has always inspired me. I've shared that with you before. I'll share it again. And that guy says, this is the true joy in life. This is the true joy in life, the being used for a purpose, recognized as a mighty one. The being, a force of nature, rather than a feverish, selfish little clod full of grievances and ailments, complaining that the world does not devote itself to making me happy. My life is not a brief candle for me. It is a splendid torch that I have got hold of, and I shall make it burn as brightly as possible before I pass it on to future generations. Back in 1982, when I attended a transformational program, now called as Forum, this quotation was read out by the facilitator. And it had such a huge impact on me. Feverish, selfish little clod full of grievances and ailments, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making me happy. And I said, oh my God, Sukhdeepak, that is what you are right now. Do you want to be like that for the rest of your life? I said, no. And that's the day I decided I'll also become a transformational trainer. And that's where my journey began, because I said, my life is not a brief candle for me. Brief candle burns for a little while, goes away. It is a splendid torch, and I will make it burn as brightly as possible. And then I went back to my office and I resigned. And my boss said, are you crazy? You're doing so well. Your next promotion is due. You have a great career. Are you crazy? I went and told my father, he said, are you crazy? You've got 2 children. How can you do this? I said, no, my life is not a brief candle for me. Of course, I didn't tell them. I want to do something great. It was the first time in my life I chose to create something. I didn't know how I would do it. I have no idea what to do. I just said I'm going to do it, period. So that's what I added to my life that day, which allowed me to create a future that I desired. And I'm living that future. And I'm still asking that question today also. What can I add to my life? I mean, today is my very significant day in my life today. You know, maybe I've got another 20 more years. So I said, what the bloody hell can I add to my life now that will allow me to create a future that you desire? So today morning, I was reading Ratanji's very interesting, post. Written. So, oh, between 70 and 80 is the time when you are going to fall ill. So I said, should I believe that? Because if I believe it, I'll fall ill. I said, no, I'm not going to believe that. I will take it as an indication that you better do A, B, C, D, E, F. Wonderful points that he shared. That was really nice. Thankfully, I'm doing some of those things already. Some of them I'm not. So I promise you, Ratanji, I will. Right? Together we shall cross 90. What do you say, Ratanji? And you will cross it a little before me, I suppose. But what
yeah, we have to strive. Whatever will happen, we don't know. But like Dr. Pankaj Garam, I know very well since 2002, and he just went in a second.
Yeah, and imagine yourself a very famous Ayurvedic doctor. I mean, Khadak, just like that.
Yeah, so we don't know, but we have to strive the best we can do.
Yeah. What is the name of his hospital? That
Ayush Shakti.
Ayush Shakti.
Yeah. I met him in 2002 in New York, and since then we kept very close. I was patient for him for only 3 months, and then after that we just became friends.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Dr. Hiral, ma'am, please go ahead.
So I would like to say about this, what you have told just now about getting sick and the age. So age is just a number because it's been 12 years I'm practicing, and I have seen a lot of patients. And in my family, like I have seen my grandfather at the age of 72, he left his life. But I have never seen a single day he was sick or he was on bed or he complained of even cold or cough or fever also. So it is a choice that you would like to have a healthy life or you would like to listen to other people, because age is just a number. There are a lot of people who are doing so much great in their life, and it is not necessary that because you will get old and you will get sick. It is very much wrong sentence, which is like it is a myth only. There is no fact.
Very
Yes.
true. Thank you. That makes me feel good, doctor. Right?
Yeah.
But the point is, that triggered me to ask you this question because I was asking. See, whatever I ask you guys, I'm first asking myself. That's the way I operate. Whenever I give a topic for you, it's something which is on my mind. So what will you add to your life today that will allow you to create a future that you desire? Good question to ask. Yes, Kudayan Saab.
Yeah, very good morning, sir. And many happy returns of the day.
Thank you.
Just a question, sir. Why are we limiting to 90 or 100 or 110 or 120? Why not 200, 300, 400?
I wish and I pray. I certainly would desire. I mean, what's the harm in it?
Yeah, so question is actually is average standard. So as an energy being, once we leave this body, of course, we are going to be there. So what is resisting me to think beyond this body?
No, but
Because-
okay, maybe that is true in your case. But tell me one thing, Kunan Sahab, when we are thinking of ourselves as an infinite being, we'll have to think beyond the body, na?
Yes, sir.
Right? So I like when I have attended the body class, there's a class in Access, it's called the body class. I've been through it 2 times, right? One thing becomes very clear. The body is an entity, me as a consciousness is another entity. Okay? We are living in synergy with each other, right? And this body has a finite shelf life, I believe. If you take care of it, like many people have cars. I mean, I had my old, the earlier Honda City for 14 years. And when I sold it, that guy was shocked. He says, sir, ye to bilkul, it's like a new car. I said, sir, yeah, because I was taking care of it. Similarly, I suppose if you take care of this entity called the body, we could live inside this body for a long time. But when the body is not there, we'll still be there. Na? The infinite being is not going anywhere. So at least we can stop being concerned about it. So thank you for that. Carry on. Is there something more you wanted to add?
Yeah, the question is, when we ask what else is possible, there are tremendous possibilities. As Albert Einstein said that we are using just 10% of the brain. So if we use the analogy of putting our attention in the right place, then don't you think if we keep on looking for infinite possibilities, then we get distracted? If we can put our attention somewhere as an energy being, leaving this body after that, don't you think it will be the life full of ease, joy, and glory?
No. Can I answer you this question? Have you,
Yes.
see, it is a good question to ask, very good. I appreciate that. But have you ever thought that why did this infinite being choose to come and live in the body for human experience? Okay. The being came and lived in a human experience to grow. Okay. He felt the need for you to come and live in this human body to grow. Okay. So in this human experience, if you are not living fully this human experience, will you learn and grow fully? I mean, you could spend this entire human life sitting in a cave and meditating. That also you can do. And if you're supposed to do that, he'll make you do that, right?
Right,
My
sir.
only problem with this is, see, we have to, if you are conscious that, listen, I'm answerable, I'm conscious that I will pay for my sins in the afterlife, at least we will live a life of, what shall I say, righteousness. Matlab, galat kaam nahi karenge. The karmic theory also says that if you have bad karma, you will be born again as an insect or a AIDS virus or a horrible human being or some rakshas or something like that. So if you want to be born, you want to have eternal life, not coming back again and again into this plane, then you better do the right things. So there is so why are we doing the right things? Why do we have a conscience? So there are many questions. Right now, today's topic is more about how am I going to use, now if I'm conscious, brain number 1 is reactive brain. Brain number 2 is analyzer. Okay, both of these brains are only making me do survival activities. When these brains are active, this brain is switched off. Okay. Now I'm saying even if the rational brain is switched on, what are you going to use it for? Creation or only making strategies for survival activities?
For
That
me,
is what I'm pointing to.
yeah. For me, I want to use this, or I desire to use this rational mind to the maximum limit, not only 10 to 20% or 50%. So I need to keep on asking where exactly should be my attention?
Yeah, not only that. See, what creative creation can I do? See, if you look and see people like you, Ratanji, Dr. Hiral, Reddy Garu and Rashmi and most of the people here, we are accomplished. We are not, our basic needs are more than sufficiently taken care of, isn't it? Dr. Eril must be a successful practitioner. Reddy Garu is an industrialist doing well. You are doing well in your profession. Ratanji has built many businesses and now he's more of a guide to his children and all that. Everybody has accomplished everything, right? Our survival needs are taken care of. My question always is with myself also, that if this Almighty is still keeping me here, what is the purpose I'm still supposed to be fulfilling? I'm supposed to do something. That's why I'm here. Na? मेरा काम खत्म हो जाता तो मैं नहीं रहता था इधर. So I will use, at least I would like to use my rational brain to find out and fulfill the purpose which is still to be fulfilled by me. Because that day, the day that purpose is fulfilled, I'll no longer be here. मेरी जरूरत नहीं होगी यहाँ पर. This is what I think. So think on it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I thought I'll provoke your thinking a little bit more today. And now I will request Kuldeep ji, who's here with us after a long time, to give us some poetry.
Sir,
This poetry that we call Shairi is in Urdu. It's a language. Yes, Kuldeep ji.
सर कहा है कि जिंदगी में फिर दूर तक निकल जाएंगे हम, जिंदगी में फिर दूर तक निकल जाएंगे हम, जो भी जितना साथ दे बस शुक्रिया करते चले.
वाह वाह वाह. जिंदगी में हम दूर निकलते चले जाएंगे और
जिंदगी में फिर दूर तक निकल जाएंगे हम, जो भी जितना साथ दे बस शुक्रिया करते चले.
Can you translate it yourself, Kuldeep ji?
We can go far off in life if we keep on offering our gratitude to everyone whomsoever we meet, whatever little time may be.
Okay, I think I'll translate like this. We will go very far in life, and there are many people who will come and give us company as we are going. They'll come and go, and we'll keep thanking them for being a part of our life.
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you. And now let's invite Dr. Kunen.
जनाब, जो मुझे याद आ रहा है कि अर्ज किया है कि जब आईना कोई देखो, मिरर, जब आईना कोई देखो एक अजनबी देखो, जब आईना कोई देखो एक अजनबी देखो, कहाँ पे ले आई है तुमको ये दुनिया, ये देखो.
वाह.
और जो हो सके तो ज्यादा ही चाहना मुझको, जो हो सके तो ज्यादा ही चाहना मुझको, कभी जो मेरी मोहब्बत में कुछ कमी देखो.
चाड़ना means criticize, is it? चाड़ना का क्या मतलब हुआ? मतलब
चाहना,
चाहना. Okay, like okay.
जो हो.
Okay, can you say it line by line?
जब आईना कोई देखो एक अजनबी देखो.
Okay, when you look at a mirror, see a stranger over there.
कहाँ पे ले आई तुमको ये दुनिया, ये देखो.
Yeah, look to see where the world has brought you.
So a sort of introspection. जो हो सके तो ज्यादा ही चाहना मुझको.
If it is possible, love me more.
कभी जो मेरी मोहब्बत में कुछ कमी देखो.
Yeah, if there is anything, if there is a shortfall in my love, see it and tell me about it. Wow, kya baat hai. So thank you guys on this nice. Who's that? Hello. Somebody was saying something. I didn't hear that. All right, anyways, thank you. See you tomorrow morning for another conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, sir.